Welcome to TATI's Bright Faces. I'm Tanya Ragbear, president of TATI Inc. and your host. Today we're being joined by a panel to explore the hot topic of celebrities being held as role models. Stay tuned, they have a lot to share with us today. Hi, welcome to the studio of TATI's Bright Faces.
Hi, I'm Kayla, I'm 16 and I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Katrina, I'm 16, I'm also a junior.
Hi, I'm Millie, I'm 17 and I'm a junior.
And with us via Skype today is...
Hi, I'm Robert, I'm 17 and I'm a senior.
Excellent, thank you all for being here with us. So what do you guys think about this?
So I think it depends on who the celebrity is and what they've done in the past and what they're doing right now. I guess like one example would be Miley Cyrus. Right now a lot of people don't view her as a good example to kids because of her videos and her music and how she's dressing.
But I feel like at the same time, like a lot of times you have to depend whether or not a celebrity is a good role model based on what they do in their lives, like the actions that they've done. So for example, a lot of celebrities have been arrested, like Chris Brown was arrested for the whole thing with Rihanna, and I think that he shouldn't be viewed as a role model because he chose to make these poor decisions. But some celebrities use their fame to bring good to society.
For example, like Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, when paparazzis are following them, they hold up signs that sponsor charities that they believe in and give the attention that those charities need, so people will visit their sites or donate or make a good donation.
Yes, and it all depends on the role model specifically, because at the end of the day, these celebrities are regular people just like us. They're going to make mistakes. So it's all about who the role model is and all about who you want to be your role model.
I think it's like the celebrities have to, like, you have to realize that they're at a different position in life. Like, so if I make a mistake, it's not going to be that serious because I'm a normal person. But then when Justin Bieber goes and does something stupid, then everybody knows about it, everybody finds out, and he has to take into consideration how many little kids are looking up to him and how many people like view him as some amazing person while he does this stupid stuff.
Like Oscar Pistorius. When the whole thing happened with his wife, it was a big media scandal and it all went to court and they couldn't believe the result that he was found not guilty even though he admitted to it. So that whole thing happened. If he was never an Olympic sprinter, I don't think a murder like that would have been in the media as much as it was.
I think he also should have realized that a lot of people were looking up to him because he was disabled and he was going into the Olympics. And a lot of people were seeing him as, wow, like if he can do it, I can do it. And then he goes and does something like that. He should have used his fame for like positive things, not doing something bad.
And I think that like sometimes there are celebrities who are very aware of it. Like a lot of celebrities know not to put their business out there. Like Beyonce, you don't find anything out about her, rarely you do. But she does stuff like her scholarship fund and stuff like that. So like they have to be aware of how much attention is set on them.
Yes, they have to be aware, but at the same time, some of these celebrities don't really want all the fame that they're getting, but they're getting it anyway, whether they want it or not. So you're right about that. They do have to think about how they actually affect other people and people that are following them as role models.
And also Bill Cosby has been in the media lately for his accusatory rapes. Janice Dickinson, a very famous model, accused him of raping her when she was when her career was taking her first height. And so you don't know if things are true. Not everything in the media is true, but it just all has to do with how the celebrity handles it.
Okay, so basically what I'm hearing you guys say is, yes, they can be viewed as role models, but maybe we should have the right to take that status away?
Yeah, because I think that a lot of celebrities maybe don't want that kind of a burden on them, like to know that all these people are looking up to them. Like I know I probably wouldn't want that because that's a lot of pressure to have, but at the same time it's like a give and take. Like you go into the situation when you become a famous artist or a model or actor, whatever, knowing that this is going to happen and like how different your life is going to be.
Yeah, like when you sign a contract with whether you're a singer, a rapper, a model, an actor, it comes with the job, all the fans and the attention that you get. So it just all depends on how you use that attention, if you use it in a positive or negative way.
So now let's take a look at specific celebrities like Miley Cyrus. She was a child star and her target audience was children. And then I guess she got tired of being viewed as the star for children, so she wanted to change her image. And what do you think about how she evolved?
Well, I think at first, like, she did have a lot of little kids that looked up to her, and even I, as like a child, I always saw her. She was a star since she was a child, and it was awesome that she got all that fame, and it was amazing. But then when she started doing all those videos of her like dancing on stage and twerking, and little kids shouldn't be looking at her and thinking of her as a star.
I think that like she tried to use that as a way to transition into a different fan base, because at first, like on Disney Channel and Hannah Montana, that was like like we watched that show, we love that show. But as we've gotten older, you kind of forget about her because she was Hannah Montana, and now that she's trying to be like herself, I feel like that she thinks that the only way she can get a new fan base is to completely do something drastic and change her image and do something like major.
And also between the stage of from being Hannah Montana to being the Miley Cyrus we know today, you didn't see her a lot. She wasn't singing, she wasn't dancing, and she ended up, after changing her look and her style, she did a whole documentary on what her game plan was. And her game plan was, I'm going to do something that everyone will talk about and no one will forget it. So her performance at the VMAs was one of her game plans, where she would do one of the most outrageous performance, and it would be talked about for months and months, and still is talked about today, and it's been a year.
Right. And ultimately, it's her life, and she looked like she wanted to change the way her image was seen. Like Katrina said, I agree with her. And she went about the transition way too quickly. She kind of got explosive with her transition, and nobody was expecting that to happen. And it came out of nowhere, and now because she made the transition so quickly, now she is looked down upon as well by people who looked up to her and people who are growing up watching her, and so on.
And also, she didn't think about the consequences, like her ex-fiance, Liam Hemsworth, and her family would take on this. She's now not going to get married to Liam Hemsworth because she went out partying, she did drugs, she did all this stuff just to change her image and get out of that Hannah Montana image, and she didn't think about the consequences.
All right. So that's going to lead us to a whole different area now. Should children be looked at as role models?
I feel like that's a very it's very controversial because it really depends. Like, okay, another Disney show that we all grew up with was Zack and Cody, and now that they're both grown up, I think they're in like their 20s, and I follow them on Instagram and like Twitter and stuff, and they're in a good spot in their lives. Like, both of them are in like committed relationships. They're both in college at NYU getting degrees and stuff like that, and so I feel like they were good role models because they never did anything bad, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of the same thing. Like, if you put a kid into Disney Channel, as a parent, you have to expect that their kid is going to be viewed as someone higher than the rest, and their kid has certain standards to live by, like, from this point on. And I think that's what happened to Miley Cyrus.
I think it's good to have children as role models, but at the same time, you have to realize that children do make mistakes. They still haven't learned from them, so they will make mistakes, and you have to see them, like, they're going to learn from it, and your children should also learn from them as well.
That's the way it is. Parents have to make that decision to put their kids in the industry, in the Disney industry, and whatsoever. It's all up to the parents ultimately. I mean, the kids really don't have a lot of control over it, but at the same time, they do. They have a say, but ultimately, it's in the parents' hands.
Okay, so what advice would you each give to parents who are introducing their kids to that lifestyle?
I think that you have to teach the kids have to, the parents have to tell the kids like what they're gonna expect and what their new life, how their life is gonna change so drastically. Because like if I watched Disney Channel as a kid, I remember thinking like, oh, I want to be there, because you just think about like being an actor or an actress. But then you have to also take into consideration the fact that you're gonna have new responsibilities. You're not gonna be a normal kid. Like, they probably won't be able to go to school, or public school at least, and your entire life changed because now you're like an adult in the business industry, in an acting industry. You're not a little kid who just plays around and does stupid stuff.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a childhood most likely. Your whole childhood's gonna be based on school and whatever your career is, may it be modeling or acting or whatever. You're not gonna be able to go down the street and play cards or play ball or whatever because you're going to have to be in the studio acting. So you're not going to have your childhood that you think you're going to have.
It's something that the parents have to let their kids know about. They're basically throwing away their childhood to go into acting in this business industry. It's a business. That's what it is, an industry. So the kids they have to know, and they probably won't understand this until they're older, that they're throwing away what people would call a normal childhood to be able to play with regular friends and so on. So basically, you're taking yourself away from normal society in a sense, and you're kind of going to be put onto a pedestal to where people are going to look up to you and look to see what your actions are in the future, because you're going to be on air for millions of people to see, especially in the acting industry.
So basically, it's the parents' responsibility to tell their kids what is expected of them, because the kids aren't going to learn themselves. They might still be young and won't understand what's going on. So it's the responsibility of the parents to tell them.
Okay. It brings us to a new industry that I want to ask you about: social media. What about all these little celebrities that are popping up that have videos that go viral? What do you think about that?
I think a big social media site is Vine. People that are just normal teens like us will make funny videos, and now they're like almost in the celebrity industry. Like you have Princess Lauren and Cameron Dallas and Nash Gear who make all these funny videos, and they're hilarious, and they're only 6 seconds, and they're like famous like that.
They have to take in consideration though, because like Nash Greer, sometimes he made a video that was very controversial about like what guys want in women, and a lot of people didn't like that video. Him and Cameron Dallas, right? Yeah, and they didn't like the video because it was pretty much saying that girls had to be how the guys wanted them to be. So you have to be aware of what you're putting online, because you will be able to see it. Even if you take it down later on, people can still record it and show it to all their friends.
Yes, I agree with you there. You just be careful with what you do. Be careful with what you post on social media, because anything could leak out there. Careful what you do for fame or anything like that, because it's all relative. It can affect people all over the world, and once they see it, it can get controversial within hours of it being posted.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think that as children, or not even children, as teenagers, that people are aware of how how widespread everything they say is, and how everyone's gonna see their stuff and view it a certain way. Because like Millie said with Nash Greer and Cameron Dallas, they also said something that was like homophobic, I think, and it was a really big problem. Like I didn't even watch their videos on Vine, but when I heard about that, like it made me view them a different way, and it made me question like their motives, their fame, everything. So I think that they have to be extra careful, knowing that everything they say is going to be judged, it's going to be picked at, and like you just have to be extremely aware of that.
Excellent. Thank you all so much for your input. I really appreciate it on behalf of TATI Inc. And you know what? We'll be back talking to you guys for the next hot topic.
Bye.